Folks, welcome to your week. It is a brand new episode of So Bad It's Good. This is our pop culture roundup where we have the co-host of Snarkbait, the newly married, fresh from Philadelphia on a Sunday, Easter Sunday, might I add, the one and only Sophie Ross Brooks. Sophie,
hi.
You look fresh-faced for traveling in a car all day.
Oh my God, am I? Thank you. I also have the pretty filter on
I always
StreamYard.
forget to do that. Yeah.
You don't need it. You don't need it. Happy Easter. How has your Easter been?
It's fine. I mean, just texting with family and I don't know. It's so much different now that mom's not here. But it's so funny. My nephew, I guess, is in big trouble because my sister hurt her leg because she was like on a chair fixing something and he came up behind her and was like, boo! And she fell off the chair and like,
oh my God.
hurt her leg. And like, she's like a big active person in terms of like, she's like runs like marathons and stuff like that. So she hurt her leg today did you ever do that? Did you ever accidentally hurt your mom in any way?
I'm sure I did. Oh, I accidentally almost gave her a heart attack because I hid.
Because you got married.
No, well, yeah, but I hid behind like a lazy boy chair that we had in our living room when I was like 5 because I didn't want to clean up the playroom. And they were looking for hours and literally called 911. And then I coughed and they were like, oh, she's behind the chair.
Wait, you heard them calling 911 and you didn't do anything?
I was 5. I thought it was funny.
This is, literally, this is what makes a podcaster. People ask how you do it, and this kind of behavior, you'll be able to tell if you're right for podcasting or not, which, by the way, prayers out to my sister, but he's 17 years old, and that's got to feel horrible to, like, hurt your mom accidentally on a prank.
He's 17. I thought he was, like, 5.
No, he's 17. He's
17 and he thought it was funny to go boo when your mom is on a chair.
My dad would always do this thing too, like up until even like a couple years ago where we would pull into the garage, he would open the garage and you'd get out and you would know he would honk the horn to scare you on the way in from the garage. And, you'd be walking in front of the car and he'd tap the horn. And so, like, I think we're just kind of used to doing those things, but I bet he feels horrible. And I'm about to text him after this, like, I heard you hurt my sister and see what he says.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Yeah. Open the schools already, please.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
What were you doing in Philly?
It was my father-in-law's 60th. Happy birthday, Michael. He's the best.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Love my Phil, father-in-law. And so we were celebrating. We had, a nice little weekend in Philly. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I was supposed to, I've been working kind of nonstop, but then I was supposed to work yesterday and I decided to not work, even though I kept saying I was going to work. And we went out and saw the movie Sinners with Michael B. Jordan, directed by Ryan Coogler. And it's been a while since I think I've actually gone to a movie theater, but I heard such good word of mouth. And we went and saw it on IMAX and it was so good. But it is interesting. It's a slow start, but like I cannot stop thinking about this film. And just so you guys know, Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, they are like, to me, like the De Niro Scorsese of this generation. Or even the Denzel Washington Spike Lee.
He directed Black Panther. Yeah.
Creed, Fruitvale
Station, which was also a great movie.
But I've been nonstop on TikTok now, just looking at Ryan Coogler interviews. And I just love that this is like this passionate 35-year-old dude talking about like IMAX lenses. I geek out and it's really hard. Do you find this, Sophie, with pop culture where you get into something that's really like dense and it kind of makes your mind expand. And then you watch an episode of Summer House and you're like, dude.
It's like that meme of Patrick Starr from SpongeBob where he's just like blowing a bubble. I'm like, yeah, that's me. It also makes me feel like shit when I like look at the age of Ryan Coogler. I'm like, oh, okay, so you've directed several billions of dollars worth of box office hits, and you're like 35. You're basically 12. You're 12.
You're 12. I'm like, but I will say he hasn't done a podcast, Sophie, and that's where we have one-upped Ryan Coogler. And I came upon an interview, like I was watching all these interviews with him and Michael B. Jordan, and they were like, what's your favorite like reality show? And Michael B. Jordan's was something called Outlast, which I guess is like a Survivor type reality show.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
But then Ryan Coogler was like, I don't mess in that. I don't mess with that. And I was like, so when I meet Ryan Coogler eventually, I'm going to be like, I don't mess with it either, Ryan. Like Ryan to Ryan, I don't mess with it either. I love film. And I'm going to have to totally not act like I've ever had anything to do with reality television.
He's going to be on next season of The Valley Van, but it's you and Ryan Coogler.
By the way, The Valley Van Part 2 is coming up May 5th. And I'm scared because Jax recently blocked me and unblocked me this week. So when that comes out, I'm just scared that there might be a war of words. And I've actually did a full recap of The Valley, and on Patreon, I'm finishing up the after show, which was 38 minutes long and has so much information. But I'm scared when this comes out that Jax, because a lot of dimwits out there, I guess, message Jax and said I talked bad about him and hurt his feelings.
Okay, who are the snitches?
Who are the snitches in Baddie Snarkbait Nation? Who are the snitches?
Ridiculous. Also, he's just like such a fucking child. I'm sorry. Like, how do you? Come on.
I mean, I'm trying to be empathetic, but man, like it is hard. But it is wild. Do you like kind of catch the discourse where it's like Brittany shouldn't have cheated with his best friend? I'm like,
oh please.
Anybody that's on the periphery of any of those friend groups, get rid of them. If they're not on television, get rid of them now, because they are all going to backstab and betray and anything. They're going to say they don't want to be on TV, but they do want to be on TV. How are we supposed to feel bad for Jax when we've seen his behavior since 2013?
Oh, so, I know, like, exactly. It's like... Sorry,
and people slamming Brittany, Sophie. I mean, which I understand, she knows what she signed up for, but at the same time, like, dude, her son was just like diagnosed with being autistic, or she just revealed that recently. Like, she's got a lot on her plate, and for Jax to have a podcast called "In the Mind of a Man," just just say "In the Mind of Jax Taylor," because I feel like he is not the typical mind.
I luckily have not seen that many people coming after Brittany. I've seen a lot of people very disturbed by the fact that they're basically alluding to the fact that Jax was abusive. And
because of the table flip that they talk about in the Valley premiere,
table flip, he was throwing shit, like Cruz was present apparently. Like, it's all really bad and dark. And it's like, where do we draw the line? And we talk about this on Starkbait a little bit, but it's like, we love Jax. Jax, I mean, we don't love him.
No, but it's fantastic amazing television. Fantastic.
He was born for reality television. We love watching him. But like, in what ways are we complicit? Because how are we allowing someone who is admittedly abusive talk about let being Sophie cook right now. TV.
I'm going to let you cook. Go.
No, and we talk about this more on Starkbait too. And it's like, I can't blame Brittany. And I know that Brittany's no angel either, sweetheart. I know that she's not. And at the same time, she never should have married him. Everyone warned her and told her not to marry him. Yes. But she is in no way complicit. Like, she does not deserve this. No one deserves this.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how he can maneuver through the season, because I hear this is the week's episode where he gets sent away, and then he's not in a majority of the season. Maybe they'll intercut like scenes of him on his phone throughout the season of like, log day 5 and like video visits from Jax. Who knows? But from my understanding is that he got sent away on that second episode. So I hear this is like really Jax heavy on Tuesday's episode. But that's the interesting question, is that did we create Jax, or was Jax already pretty much fully formed by 2013 when he became on Vanderpump Rules?
Ooh, that's such an interesting like chicken or the egg scenario, because I feel like Jax was always Jax. Like, even season 1 Jax, that's when it came out that he got a stripper pregnant in Vegas. Like, that was season 1 Jax. That was before.
And he lied to the entire cast and crew, and the crew believed him. If you remember that documentary, you had producer, like he was just like he was like, I think a production assistant Jeremiah, but now he's a producer. But back then he was like, we all believe Jax. So when he walked in with those flowers for Stassi and was like, everything's true, they were all shocked, because remember Dodie and Katie believed Jax and were sticking up for him with Stassi.
Yes. Oh my God. I remember watching that, because the producer was like, we realized that we didn't know what a liar looked like anymore. Like, we thought we knew what a liar looked like. He was that good at fooling everyone. And that was season 1. That was before the Vanderpump Rules fame. So I think that we've helped create more of a monster, but I think he was always kind of a monster.
They didn't know what reality TV show gold they were looking at on that first season.
Oh my God. But yeah, so it's like for Jax to be mad about Brittany and Julian, is his name Julian?
Yeah,
It's
Julian, which we see like a brief clip of in the first episode. And he was like, he was my best friend. And then Jason Caperna seems to be one of the only like level-headed thinking people. He was like, they were like big. They were, I guess, really good friends for like a year. I don't know. Like
Julian is like, we met twice. No, but
by the way, that is a shitty thing of Julian to do. But like, it's hard when it's like, Jax, do you realize all bets are off with you because
Tom Sandoval and Kristen Doty, Stassi, Faith. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, there are too many to count the amount of times that Jax has done this to his friends.
Well, I do believe in like, I don't know. I believe in forgiveness. I believe in all of these things. But I think if anything, Jax needs to get off social media if he wants to keep doing reality television. But like, he's so ingrained with the podcast and with this and that, where I feel like to really work on the issues that he's probably had since childhood take a lot. Like Rachel Leviss went to a mental health facility for like she went for 2 months, went back for a third month, and she stopped doing reality television to try to like get a better shot at having a normal life.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know where we go,
Well,
but
Jax,
what did you think of the...
Sorry, I was just going to say that Jax is only going to go to rehab because he knows that his paycheck is being jeopardized. He's not going to actually work on himself or because he thinks he has a problem. Yeah. I think he'll say those things, but I think the reality is that, you know, he was approached and said, you will not have a spot on this show if you don't go to rehab. So he's realizing his paycheck and spot on the show is being jeopardized. He needs to go. He's not going to actually like help himself, you know?
I mean, I think that's, well, because he talked about in that kind of 2 or 3 year interim where he was fired from Vanderpump Rules, where he said, oh, I've got plenty of money, I got this and that. The reality of the situation came out afterwards. He says it now is that they didn't have money coming in. I mean, Brittany had like the Jenny Craig, like she was kind of carrying the workload for that family, which is wild that they opened up the season with, he's like, Brittany's in a rental. I'm here at my house. I'm like, that's your house. That's your family's house. It's just all darkness. But what did you think overall of the premiere?
I mean, I liked it. Again, it was dark. Like, I think the Jesse Lally and Michelle, like that whole thing is just so toxic and also really dark. And it's just funny how it started out as a show about like, we're all grown up and we're like happily married. And now they're all just like fucking like,
when they show the kids or talk about the kids, that's when I get scared. Like, because it's like, it's one thing when you're over the hill and it's Vanderpump Rules for some reason. And I know, like, you know, kids don't make you a better person overall. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that doesn't, whatever I'm trying to say. Anyways, it's just dark to like hear them talk about kids and then have the same bad behavior that you saw on Vanderpump Rules. But that's reality television. So I'm curious. But doesn't Brittany and Michelle, there was a really dark scene at the beginning where they're both talking about their exes. And it's like the happiest scene ever. Like Brittany seems so happy to be away from Jax, even though he's like kind of at her, like texting her all the time and calling her.
She seems much lighter. Yeah. Like she just shed 200 pounds of steroids and cocaine, you know? But like, what do you think of the Janet of it all?
So listen, I have to say, like, I know Janet on like the real world. So it's kind of interesting to see all of the stuff still saying like, oh, you're a fan. You came out here to stalk Scheana. Like I've seen all of that stuff, but at the same time, like, I don't think she came out to stalk Scheana, but I will say that I think all of those people have similar origin stories.
Yeah.
But I will say, you know, like it's hard with the Doty thing because Doty's in there. I want to say like a seasoned athlete, but it's just like she comes in with just this such Doty energy that it's a great battle. But even Janet's like at the beginning trying to raise a white flag, going like, let's try to work it out. And Doty's like, fuck no. Like, and I'm like, that's great for reality television, but we also have to realize 2 seasons from now, they will come together and destroy somebody on the show.
Well, and the fact that she's like crazy Kristen, it's like, that is Your Highness, Crazy Kristen, to you?
But remember when we were all like bitching and moaning about Doty over the pandemic, and now she's kind of like her power. That's why you just have to hang on in life, because eventually the tides will shift.
I think that she obviously is an extremely flawed human being, but she is so open about how flawed she is. Like, she is so authentically herself and has never been anything
empath, Sophie.
but
she's an empath.
Mariposa. But she has just never been anything but herself, which is so endearing. And I think people realize that. And I talk a lot about how, you have your Bravo chaos agents, and she is the perfect specimen when it comes to a Bravo chaos agent. She is authentic, chaotic, and just it is just unapologetically herself. And I just love that about her. And yeah, she's extremely flawed, but we like that about her.
Well, I mean, by the way, I don't see a lot of people that are not flawed on reality television. And then also to pull it back out, and actually in life, we're all kind of flawed, maybe not to the levels of reality television.
Except me.
No, that's what I meant. I was about to say, except for Sophie. But I think it is funny though when you see Dodie, they always get shots of her her feet first, just walking down a street, and I'm always I love they're obsessed with Kristen's feet, and
thwacking. It's always thwacking.
And then I want there to be, because I was watching that movie, the Sinners movie, and the soundtrack's amazing, and they had character music for each character. You could tell there was a theme for each character. I want a theme for Dodie. I said this in my recap, but wouldn't you love it if there was a little electric slide guitar when Dodie walks in?
You know why they do the feet? It's because this season is actually produced. They just, Alex Baskin is really tight with Quentin Tarantino, and so is Michelle Lally, and so they kind of got his creative input. For
they love it.
Is what I read. Yeah,
they love the feet. Yeah, well, and Jesse Lally, he's another one, because if you didn't have Jax, Jesse Lally would be the big bad. But I'm also seeing discourse that they are loving Jesse. People are
Jesse is kind of reality TV gold, also.
Yes, reality. But this is where we get. I don't know if we get it wrong as an audience, but this is where we get conflicted. Like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I would say in a more light way, or more sexual light way, with Jesse Solomon, is that they're obviously doing bad things. And I'm here listening to women speak for this last 7 or 8 years of being reality show focused. And everybody's complaining about how they're treated in relationships, this, that, and the other. And then we celebrate these men doing the damage. I'm literally opening up Instagram every day to be Sierra and Jesse need to hook up. What the fuck are people thinking? What mind?
We have different For You pages. We have very different For You pages, because Sierra and Jesse are getting a lot of backlash from what I've been seeing.
See, well, we'll finish the Valley, and then we'll go to Summer House. But anyways, Jesse's that guy where it's it's horrific probably to deal with him if you're Michelle, but he's so comfortable being himself, and he's really turning it on for the camera, where I almost bet Jesse, I hate to say this, I almost bet Jesse appreciated that Jax went away so he could thrive as the big bad.
The number one guy in the group.
Number one bad guy in the group.
I think he also benefits from the fact that Michelle is incredibly unlikable and incredibly bad TV. She's not.
Wait. Is she unlikable? Do you really?
Okay, I take that back.
No, honestly.
I don't mean unlikable. I mean that she has
not dynamic.
She has absolutely zero charisma. She has no charisma.
So are you saying it's like a Katie Maloney kind of vibe, where everybody said she had, she built charisma over the seasons?
Kinda. Yeah, I think that's a somewhat fair comparison. She just has absolutely no charisma from what we can see. She's not good reality TV. So if you think of, well, Jesse versus Michelle, who would I rather watch? Whose quote unquote side am I going to take? Not that there needs to be sides. Jesse is so much more entertaining and actually does objectively have charisma.
But Sophie, Charles Manson had charisma. He popped on screen.
I'm not
screen.
saying that having charisma makes you a good person. It's just Jesse
But it makes you good
Solomon
reality television.
Charisma.
It makes you good reality.
It makes you fun to watch. It makes you good reality television. It makes you more endearing to watch, versus Michelle Lally. It's watching her is Xanax to me. I honestly it's really hard for me to watch her.
I'd love to be all Xannied out with Austin Kroll.
Like Austin Kroll before he records Pillows and Beer.
Yeah. Which, by the way, remember, Snarkbait, guys, big hit. Subscribe, rate 5 stars. Before we get on to Summer House and all the rest of the topics, who are we covering this week on Dark Energy Tuesday?
Dark Energy Tuesday, we talk about, the Valley, Summer House, all of that.
Okay.
But for our deep dive this week, we are getting into Joe Rogan. So we are going to be diving
Talk about somebody
into
that pops on screen. So what, I mean, do you go back from the beginning of his career, like Fear Factor and being on that NBC sitcom to like one of the number one, one of the people that really swung the election in certain ways or really helped the election.
Hell yeah. Yep.
What's your overall take on Mr. Rogan?
You're gonna have to listen. I don't want to get into any.
What if you come out? You're like, I love the guy. I love him.
You know what? He's not wrong. Do your research. Maybe you can do your research too.
I like how he's all, but I will say when I see clips of him on TikTok, I like how he's always like smoking a cigar, drinking whiskey with his boys, and I was like, we need to do shit like that. Just make it real comfortable.
He also, the vibe I get is that he's literally the most gullible person alive. Like you could like literally go on his podcast and talk about anything and he'd be like, wow, that makes so much sense.
It's interesting. I'm seeing a lot more clips where he gets called out. Where like, no, that's actually not true. And he's like, well, it says it right there. And it's like my dad when he goes online and he believes literally anything that he sees.
Yeah, exactly. He is the media literacy of like an 85-year-old man.
But it's hard when most of the people are actually tuning in to listen to somebody that kind of can steer people in the wrong direction. And then do it under the guise of freedom. And that's really scary. By the way, I'm one episode away from finishing this season of Black Mirror, which you finished last weekend. And
how amazing is this season?
Eulogy with Paul Giamatti killed me.
Oh, I finally watched that. That is one of my top, I think it's my second favorite episode of all time of Black Mirror. And it was emotional.
Isn't he just amazing? Just
incredible. Incredible. And it's so emotional. Oh my God. It's so emotional.
Tear, even thinking about it right now, I get tear. Like it is so good, you guys, but it's scary as hell. We watched them kind of out of order and I just watched Playthings today and that was really freaky, but it's like, that's the reality of where we are headed. Like with the AI.
What episode do you have left?
USS Callister.
Oh, that's such a good one. You're going to love it.
We're 16 minutes into it, so we'll finish it up probably tonight. But it's really worth your watch, but it really scares the crap out of you because, this is a real future that I believe we're headed for. You know what I want to see Black Mirror cover, though, is reality television. They haven't done an episode of like a new way. Like, there's got to be, because this guy, Charlie Brooker, created it and writes every episode. Like, there's got to be his take on reality television or what there is to come, because right now I believe everybody has their reality show, whether it be on Bravo or on TikTok. So eventually, will we all have to have a reality show?
You could argue that the show or the episode White Bear from one of the early seasons was kind of that. And then also the episode called Lock Henry from was this season 7, season 6? It was last season. And that was commentary on like true crime. So I feel like I agree though. But I think that what is so creepy about Black Mirror now is that it all feels like it could happen. Like it feels too real versus like years ago, like when it first came out, like over a decade ago.
It felt impossible. It felt impossible.
But now it's like, like there definitely could be a scenario where like surgeons clone a part of your brain, then put it back in your brain, and then they run ads through you. Like that sounds like
that was Common People, that first episode where she was doing ads for the company. I was like,
it's such a depressing episode.
That was another sad one. And then the one we really liked. What was the one with the
Noir?
Food? Was that the food? The food
chocolate
lady?
Chocolatier. Bette Noir. Yeah.
That was great.
Verity Green. Yeah, I love that one too. There were so many good episodes from this season. The only one that I did not love was Hotel Reverie because I think Issa Rae was like a little bit miscast.
I'll go you one better. I said it the other night. I said Awkwafina was miscast. She was like in she was doing like multicam sitcom, and I think Issa Rae she was already miscast in that role in the actual show because they were taking it from a man to a woman.
Yes.
So like I almost forgave the Issa Rae of it, but it was such a big idea that I don't think the performances grounded it as much as it could have helped it if the performances were more grounded. But I still thought it was a really interesting idea. I just felt like it didn't exactly accomplish what they were after.
Yeah, there was something off about it, but it was Emma Corrin was amazing. It was
like great.
It was like a beautiful idea. It just wasn't executed that well. So that was the only episode that isn't in like my top, but all of the new episodes are in like my top half of my rankings.
Yeah. So you guys check out Black Mirror season 7. Real quick, moving on, Beverly Hills, we finished off this week and it's what it was. Garcelle walked off, but what she did one better this week is that she unfollowed everybody in the cast except for Jennifer Tilly, and she, who else didn't she, that she left?
I think it was just Kathy. Was it Kathy?
Kathy and Jennifer Tilly, but she unfollowed Sutton, and Sutton even commented, was like, well, she just needs time to cool down. Like, she doesn't give it, like, but I think Sutton really wasn't there for her in that finale the way that she has been there for Sutton. And I think Garcelle, you see that breaking point of like, deuces, I'm out. This is good money, but I don't need this aggravation when you dipshits can't even be honest about your own lives.
It's disappointing because I feel like Beverly Hills, and I did not watch 99% of the season. I think I watched the first 2 episodes and then dipped out, but like Beverly Hills was at its best with this current cast when it felt like the Fox Force 5 had a foil, and that was like Sutton and Garcelle, and at the time Crystal. I loved Crystal on Beverly Hills, and I loved that like little trio to go up against the Fox Force 5. So from what I've read, because again I have not like kept up with the season, the fact that Sutton was kind of like trying to fit in with the popular girls and like
you see her kissing ass in the final reunion of like, hey everybody, it's me Sutton. Like, it's so dumb.
It was so disappointing.
And she's gonna get her ass kicked next season. I don't mean that literally, but they're gonna take advantage of her because they know she's a pushover, they know she'll roll over, and unless she gets like somebody, because Jennifer Tilly, she'll probably come back, but Jennifer Tilly's just kind of like, she's already rich, she's doing it kind of for fun, and I don't think she loves the intensity. So they're gonna have to figure out casting with having Sutton have some sort of an anchor, because if not, she's going to be kissing ass. And Erica Jane, of all people, like who can barely afford anything at this point, knows that they have something over Sutton, which should never be the case.
It's disappointing because Sutton was so promising. Like, I loved her when she first joined, and it's disappointing.
Maybe she'll find her voice. And also Crystal, I will say, I get to hang out with Crystal a little bit here and there now. She was at that ChumCon last weekend. She is so much more interesting in person than, and I'm not blaming the edit or anything like that, but I would love to see the Crystal that I get to hang out with on that show. I don't know. I just feel, I hope she, if she would ever want it, get another shot. Who knows? Love her. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to Summer House. The big villain in this season of Summer House is that front door. Kyle and Wes, like this, it's like comedy at this point. It's like a silent film. Them coming in 5 a.m. trying to bust that door down really made me laugh, regardless of how. And this Kyle still doing the Kyle shit of like coming in at 5. And Amanda just really seeming to be so much happier where she's able to handle it so much better. But what did you think of this past week's episode?
The power of SSRIs, by the way. Like, I've seen that on my own family members. Some of the most tense people alive will start an SSRI that they desperately need, and it's now nothing can phase them. And that's Amanda.
It's so unfair. I'm on SSRIs, but I feel like I'm not on the right, I'm not on the right cocktail, because what I want to be Amanda Batula'd out. Like, Batula is Batuling.
Jesse Solomon sucks. I actually never liked him.
Rewrite history.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never.
I see you flirting with my friend Wes in the club. Club.
Ryan, you were flirting with that other podcaster, and so I'm just gonna gaslight you.
You see, he did that behind the car too, and he didn't think the mic was picking it up because it was really rough mic. That was purposeful. And then when they got in the bedroom, he was like, "No, we just have to have a talk tomorrow." That dude, and he goes, "What you did tonight, I just did the toe suck thing. What you did is so much worse." I'm like, it is so this is so thought out in his head. This is so thought out.
He's such a gaslighter. It's so hard to watch. And Lexi has been doing interviews where it's obviously very clear that she looks back on this relationship as very toxic. And she says that Sierra, Man, and Paige, none of them are reached out to check on her, and they don't even respond to her texts. Jesse, meanwhile, says that Paige has been texting about this summer. It's going to be so sick because they're all going to be single. And it's like, there is some major divide. I don't know if Lindsay is going to come back. I don't know if Gabby's going to come back. I don't know if Lexi's going to come back.
Well, just baby-proof the summer house just in case. And by the way, I would also say make that door even harder to get in. Let's make it even harder for them to get in. Let's just throw obstacles in their way, like that one pandemic season where the oven didn't work. Like, I love kind of challenges to throw at them. But you're right. The girls did not take to Lexi, and I'm curious if she will be back because at this point, since Bailey is not really there, she doesn't have anybody in her corner unless she starts like nursing with Lindsay with the baby next summer.
I know, but I actually really like Lexi. And I think that like the fact that the Bravo audience barely gave her a chance at the beginning is just like a sign of like our own internalized misogyny, including myself. Like, we saw like a hot Instagram model with over 1 million followers. We're like, fuck her. We don't need her on our show. But like, she seems very sweet. And I think that Jessie was also kind of triangulating the situation by like talking shit about her and making her seem psycho to the girls. So maybe that's why they didn't take to her.
By the way, I will notice this with life is that like if you hear like if something like just go directly to the person.
Yeah.
If somebody's talking mad shit or like this is how it is or this is how they are, just go to that person and ask them. Because most of the time, I think Jessie is banking on them never going to Lexi and asking her. Ask Lexi. Because Lexi seems like you're like, hey man, I'll walk you through it. Like not trying to throw Jessie under the bus, but like, I'm sorry, the toe sucking thing and holding up Wes at a party, at a bar is not even comparable in the slightest. Yeah. And he's doing it with this, like, I think you probably saw the same clips I did from that Chicks in the Office podcast where, you know, he goes in there, he charms them. And he even says like, listen, you know, I might've been love bombing, but like this girl dated Drake. I do think Jessie like legitimately studied who was going to be in that summer house beforehand and was very aware and was like, I'm going to go for the girl that dated Drake and the Beckham kid.
Totally. Oh, totally. Very calculated. And the fact that he watches it back and is still insisting that he didn't really do anything wrong and she matched his energy is like, he's just, ugh. Once again, I never liked him, so I just want to make that clear.
Yeah. Sophie never, you would not be able to hit an episode of So Bad It's Good where Sophie ever said that or you wouldn't be able to see her history on Instagram where she's liked any of his posts in the past, so don't even try to do that.
Wait, Ryan.
Oh no, you have Jessie around your neck?
I never liked Jessie Sullivan.
Verity.
It's a reference to Black Mirror, sorry.
You guys wouldn't get it. You don't have Netflix.
You guys wouldn't understand.
You don't watch shows like that.
Wait, so what did you think of like the Emerald of it all? Because I have a lot of feelings about that.
Okay, so Emerald's banging his way through the summer, right? Okay, so here's the deal. I loved his talking head of like, I was undocumented up until like the age of like, I forgot what age. So I love that he's like, now he's documented. He's like, I'm just fucking in these streets.
He's living out loud.
But like, I don't personally have an issue with that. First off, my one issue, I want you to fuck people in the summer house, like fuck cast members. Like before you start bringing strangers in, let's try to see in the house and I include the men in this, like have sex with Jessie, have sex with Wes. Like you're bringing in strangers. My thing is that you don't know any of these people, and to do that 3 weekends in a row, I don't care that, you know, obviously these are agreed upon situations where they're both feeling each other's energy or vibe, as Emerald says, but it's like, you're there to like kind of form relationships with these people. So eventually, and of course it's Paige getting annoyed that she can't fall asleep. You're eventually going to get called out in some way. I don't think he's doing anything wrong, but I do think he needs to focus a little bit more on the relationships in the house and then work his way into bringing in bystanders.
And I get that. I think that that's part of the criticism is like, well, like Jessie Sullivan was like, well, when I brought someone home, I had already formed relationships with people in the house. And it's like, first of all, and I don't want to like make it about race, but I think that it has historically been proven that the people of color have a harder time fitting into this group.
What are you talking about? So I've never heard that ever in a million years.
Like, it's just historically, yes. And I think the comments, the slut-shaming comments, first of all, the STD comment was really uncalled for that Paige said to him, because it's like, who cares? As long as everyone's consenting, who gives a fuck? It was very slut-shaming. It was giving Lindsay,
she was just pissed. She was kept. By the way, Sophie.
And I get it. I get it. I get that she was pissed. I get that she was pissed and she was anxious because she was dealing with like the Craig of it all. I get that.
Invest in some noise canceling headphones though. Like if you're trying to sleep, like you're not even supposed to be in that bedroom. I get that you're tense, but Emerald's doing his thing. My big thing is like, whoever's like the NDA guy at Summer House, like they must send him home at like 1 a.m. And like there needs to be somebody at the front door of the Summer House with NDAs 24/7. So if you come in the house, I don't want shit covered up. And I'm not saying like I'm a big perv and I want to watch him have sex, but I do want to see some faces. I want to see like Below Deck will show. Now it is actually sounding like I'm a pervert, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're saying, but it's like, would she make that comment to Jesse or Wes, like a white guy?
Hell no,
like, no,
exactly.
And then
Sierra even chews him out on behalf of Paige, and then goes up and cries to Paige.
And then also Paige saying, "I know a fake moan when I hear one." Like she was fake moaning. It's like that also is like misogynistic, because like, why do you assume that a woman enjoying herself is faking it? Like,
she was like, it was 45 minutes.
I think that she comes from a very conservative, and this goes back also to when she shamed Lindsay and said that she was turning the house into a brothel because she was having a hot girl summer. I think that Paige has a lot of sexual repression that might have to do with her like Catholic conservative background.
But did she also say Craig was really pervy? Like Craig, like wasn't Craig into S&M and all that stuff? Didn't that get brought up?
I don't remember that, but ew.
No, like wasn't he? I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
Now I'm sex shaming because I hate
but Paige,
anything sexual.
Paige thinks of herself as smart enough, and this is a little bit like repressed, is that she probably would never allow herself to have sex in the Summer House.
No,
she would never put herself in the position of that. And I'm sorry, but that's not everybody. But it's a shared Summer House.
And it's also Summer House, the show that started before Paige was even introduced. It was about young, hot people having sex and having fun and getting drunk and going out. And it's like, that show is not what it is now. And like, I think that there are a lot of conversations being had about this. It's like, well, we're attached to the current cast. Yes. What is the actual point of the show was about hardworking New Yorkers going out and letting loose on the weekends. Yes. And now it's work for them. And now all they do is complain about not wanting to be there. And it's like, what is this show?
But also
now?
Emerald, like, I'm sure Emerald is not just what we see. Like, I'm not dumb. I understand that he's obviously, there's so many other colors. I'm also not looking for Summer House to teach me all the colors of Emerald. I don't need it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll eventually find out if he makes it to next season. I don't need them to jam in like the full range of emotions from Emerald. I'm happy with this because it obviously starts conflict in some way. You know, like it'll be interesting to see it. It's interesting conversation to some degree, but it was interesting Sierra chewing him out. And this is like Sierra chewing him out with like half of her tits hanging out. Like I thought that was really, I was like, you're sitting here slut shaming him and you're sitting here and you would be like, it's so bizarre in certain ways.
Yeah, it felt very slut shamey, and I didn't like it. It's like, let's go back to what Summer House was. Like, you guys should all be having fun.
Well, but I mean, I'm having fun still watching it, but Jesse Solomon and Sierra, they were at the Coachella Music Festival last weekend and they went to like the Revolve party or whatever. I'm just not, are they doing it to play with the audience? Because Sierra is starting to look like old Sierra, like a little bit of a dummy.
Sierra looks really bad. Sierra looks really bad. It's giving, like, people have been throwing around the word pick me, which I don't like that term, but like, I feel like, it's very like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You already made yourself look dumb with Austin and then West and now Jesse Solomon.
But even if you're playing with the audience, I don't think it's giving what
no.
Like, I think it's giving Jesse what he wants, but I don't think it's necessary. Like, I don't necessarily understand.
Such a bad look. And people are like, well, she doesn't owe Lexi anything. They're not friends. And it's like, well, like common courtesy. And can you imagine if someone did this to Sierra that she wasn't friends with? Oh my God, that's already happened with like Lindsay and Austin. Like all hell would break loose.
I cannot wait to hear Jesse Solomon or read Jesse Solomon's interview in the New York Times. If every season there's a New York Times interview from one of the toxic men of Summer House. Yeah. And by the way, I don't think Jesse's like 100% evil. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's interesting seeing this behavior because you see, like with the Lexi of it all, like, come on, like that is right there on the surface what he's doing away from everybody else when it's just him and Lexi. And I don't think, like, dude, you're the one that love bombed her literally into a relationship within 11 days where you're saying, I love you, never around people though. Like, that's wild.
It's crazy.
I guess there was a rumor Meredith Marks assaulted Brittany Bateman on the new season of Salt Lake City, and then Meredith said that isn't true, and then she posted an Instagram that looked Facetuned like she was a 15-year-old person like Ramona Singer. So I don't know what Meredith is going through right now, but I'm loving whatever. I mean, it seems like something's going on, and that's exciting.
What was like that? What was that rumor? Like, where did that come from? Was that just like a shit post? Like, I feel like
think it was a shit post
on Twitter.
I think it was a shit post, but they are filming, so there is a possibility. And Meredith does seem to be that person that can be pushed to the brink. She's that one that you can like put, and she gets really like the one of the most iconic episodes of this season was when she was in the Audrey Hepburn bangs that made her look like Corky Romano. Like, yeah, like she gets very agitated really quickly. So it is believable in some way, and they are filming. And then, but
it was believable enough where I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I think it's like God. Like, I want to believe. Like, like aliens. I want to believe that Meredith Marks potentially did something like that, but I know that's bad of me to want that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did Summer House. Also, sad news, Karen Huger was denied work release, but she is working her way. Like, she will eventually. I think she's making up. She's good behavior, so I think she's going to get released a little bit early, but she tried to get for work release, and they would not release her early. The judge was not having that at all. So there's been remember how we immediately pretty much got a Jen Shaw prison photo? We have no Karen Huger prison photos at all.
I wonder what the wig situation is like right now.
Yeah.
I have a question. Like, you always hear about people getting released on good behavior. Like, what kind of good behavior?
Yeah, like,
are you just like polite? Are you polite?
Yeah, please and thank you. Please and thank you. Which, by the way, Martha Stewart in that documentary, remember she got thrown into solitary because she touched like the necklace of the security guard. She was like, "That's very pretty," and she touched it, and they threw her into solitary. That's Martha Stewart, by the way, who, by the way, looked like she had a kick-ass Easter. Did you see her Instagram? What she was like, her whole spread.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, as we expect. But yeah, like, does she like clean up after herself a lot? Like,
she flushes, she leaves the seat down. Yeah, leaves. I mean, I know it's not funny, but you're right.
No,
though.
Like,
what is considered good behavior?
What is good behavior?
What's
and what
bad
is like
behavior?
Bad behavior? Like,
well, Sophie, there's this thing on Max right now. I think it was on ID Discovery. I think it's called Hollywood Demons. I think that's what it's called. But there's a bunch of episodes, and there's one episode that came out this week about the Housewives. And speaking of prison, Teresa Giudice, I mean, they were going over, like, it is interesting about that case to remind people, it wasn't just like the people were going into like what she legitimately did was that she was acting like she was taking out loans and saying she worked for certain companies, taking out loans during her time on the Housewives. And then they filed for Chapter 11, but they claimed that they didn't make all of this money that they were making. So that even added on top of it. And I don't think, like, I hate to point this out, like as the docuseries does, is that Teresa was a part of that, and she did have to serve time. And they also make a point of they were, speaking of white people, it was very nice of the court to allow them to serve separately. So one parent could always be with the kids while they were serving time. That usually doesn't happen, but they were kind of making that point of like, you don't usually see that for African Americans and things like that. But, like, I thought that was an interesting part. It's worth a watch, but it's really dark because they covered that, Taylor Armstrong and Russell and his suicide.
God.
It's a really intense watch.
I need to check it out, but I've been seeing a lot of discourse recently about like people are all of a sudden not turning on Coach Shaw, because I don't think that many people were like on his side to begin with, but a lot of people are like, Coach Shaw was in on it, right?
I think you have to know. He seems like a smart guy. I think, and that's the thing. They cover Jen Shaw in this as well, and they have a couple of victims. There was this one older lady. It's like brutal. Like she just wanted help with like her business.
Oh my God. I can't think. It's actually going to make me cry. Like nothing makes me more upset than elder abuse.
It's brutal because she was like, I just wanted help like sewing these little like, I had this business sewing these things, and I don't know. It was.
Oh my God! I'm gonna cry.
It was really a bum. Anyways, to another sad story on top of that sad story. Did you hear this about? I don't know if you watched OC. Was it Lydia Armstrong?
Oh, not brother? Lydia Armstrong. Lydia, what was her last name? Yeah, I saw her brother was shot.
Yeah, Lydia McClaclin. Sorry, Lydia McClaclin. Yes. she's iconically known for she dressed up as Charlie Chaplin as a
Yes.
one of the parties, and love that image. But her brother got shot by Newport police a couple of days ago, and then the information came out that they pulled him over on a motorcycle. He's 45 years old, and the guy went for the cop's taser and tried to deploy the taser, and then the cops had to shoot from there, and he passed away. Like this was insane, and she just lost her mom, which we saw in the show
mom
last year to breast cancer. So. It's got to just be so brutal, and I'm sure there'll be more things coming out, but it's just really, really disturbing.
Yeah, very sad, very sad. It sounds like maybe he was like having, I don't know,
episode?
like maybe an episode, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but when you go, that's just, when you go for a taser, anyway, so.
Yeah, that's very sad.
Okay, let's go to something not sad, is that Bethany Frankel, you guys, is moving to Florida, and it was Demois did a story, said she actually said she was moving there because Bryn was going to go to school there. But then it came out that she is actually doing a new reality show, and it's a cleaning show with Pitbull. Did you hear this?
What words are you saying right now?
Yeah, I know. No, it's actually, you're not stroking out. I'm saying that Bethany moved to Florida to do a reality show on cleaning people's houses with the one and only global superstar Pitbull. Yeah, you heard it right.
What does Mr. Worldwide
Worldwide
have to do with cleaning?
You see, by the way, maybe this is the Black Mirror episode we wanted. Maybe they're actually shooting that Black Mirror episode that we potentially wanted.
Written by Charlie Brooker.
Because none of those things.
It's written by Charlie Brooker and directed by Quentin Tarantino.
There's a lot of feet. There's a lot of feet in it. Like, it's cleaning houses and feet in the same episode. But like, this is one of those things where you're like, I know all of those. I know Florida. I know cleaning houses. I know Bethany and Pitbull, but then you put them all together and it just makes so little sense. So I don't know.
It's like the worst Mad Lib ever.
I know. Would you follow that guy on TikTok? Do you ever see that guy who he just talks about Bethany Frankel's TikToks during the day?
Yes.
I love that guy. Like,
I love him.
Is where I found out the news first. And I think he goes, I'm at a gay birthday party, and he literally stopped it to break the news during the party. And I thought that was amazing.
Oh my God.
But I don't know. We'll find out more, I'm sure. But I love that Bethany heard that idea and was like, that sounds like gold. Hell yeah.
Oh my God. I will be watching.
No, yeah, obviously. Coachella ends tonight, and I watched the live stream last night. I watched Charlie XCX. I watched Green Day. Justin Bieber was there for the second weekend in a row, and once again, I am extremely worried about Justin Bieber. Footage
what
of
was
this
he
guy
doing? I didn't see any of the footage of him. I saw he was there. I saw pictures.
I just saw then after parties, it just seems like he smokes the hugest blunts. Like, I'm not a big weed guy, but at a certain point, can you ever have too much weed? Weed's not bad, but it looks like there's I don't know. I just worry about the dude. He just looks, but Coachella 2 weekends in a row is intense.
Yeah, that's a lot. Also, it's
Haley was just sitting there on the sides, just with her arms crossed.
Yeah. I'm sure Haley feels like she has, more children than just Jack Blues Bieber.
Yeah, but I keep forgetting they have a newborn.
They have a child. And not that, parents can't go out and have fun and smoke weed, but it seems like this is Justin's lifestyle.
And once again, Sophie, a lot of friends. He had family members there with him, I guess. But then it's that same ragtag group of misfits that I don't like him around.
I don't like the look of that crew.
And I'm like, he had to pay for these passes for everybody in the group. And I just get worried because it seems like he might have I heard a story this week that he might have some financial issues because he did sell his catalog in a big $200 million deal. But think $200 million for us could last at lifetimes, generational wealth. But for somebody like Justin Bieber, yeah, it seems like he could blow through that. That's what scares me. He could blow through it really quick with this group of ruffians he hangs out with.
Ragtag group of misfits.
Yeah.
Well, now Haley is the breadwinner.
Yeah, is she a billionaire or is she close to a billionaire?
I don't know about billionaire, but I know
RHOBH.
RHOBH could definitely be sold for hundreds of millions, maybe even $1 billion. I don't know, but RHOBH is very successful. And it's very the products I think are okay.
It's respected.
It's the fact that it's Haley Bieber. She's just the ultimate influencer, and every other influencer wants to be her. And
put these guys on Summer House. Justin and Haley on Summer House. Wouldn't that be amazing? Because
I
once again,
mean-
it's that thing where she's going to have to bail out Justin. She's going to have to sell Road Beauty to help her man. And he always, I don't know. Anyways, Coachella, though, from the live stream, much better than I'm sure being there physically as I get older. It was great to see Charlie XCX. Bo and Yang did the Apple dance on the live stream. That was very cute. I'm trying to think. I watched the Philharmonic, Gustav Dudamel, and he brought out a bunch of special guests like Cynthia Erivo did Purple Rain by Prince. He brought out Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters. It was just a beautiful set right at sunrise. I loved it. I'm trying to think if there were any big Coachella stories from this weekend, but it is done. And then next week is Stagecoach, and Lana Del Rey is one of the headliners for Stagecoach. So it's on the same field, the polo fields, the Empire Polo Fields that Coachella is on. So they have like the same art installations. It's just different artists, country music artists.
Yeah.
Yep.
Music,
Addison Rae.
music.
Addison Rae came out with Charlie XCX. And I will tell you, Charlie XCX, I love her so much. And it did seem like she uses auto-tune, obviously, but in a really cool way. I wish they had put that same auto-tune on Addison Rae. I really like Addison Rae and her music, but I don't know if you saw clips of it. It was a little rough.
Yeah, she's a little, yeah. I think the talent
But I like
is
her.
there. It's there. It just needs to be refined. And I saw also that Charlie XCX, she wore like a sash that said like should be a headliner or whatever.
Yeah.
And then what's his name from Green Day?
Trey Cool, the drummer.
Trey Cool. Yeah, he wore a sash that said actual headliner.
But that was just them having fun with each other.
No, it was them having fun. It wasn't like shady.
But everybody took it really serious.
Charlie XCX like quote tweeted it and was like obsessed.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
Well, also like people were making a big deal. Like Charlie XCX during last night's set was like, "Oh, I hope you're not like Weekend One. I hope you're really here to party." And then people were like, "Wow, Weekend One must have really sucked. Like too many influencers." But I'm like, no, that's like a showman trick. Like that's them saying you're special tonight.
You guys are the best audience I've ever had.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple more things here. This is a funny story. It's actually they might be doing a remake of The Bodyguard, the Whitney Houston Kevin Costner film, and it was rumored that Taylor Swift was going to potentially star in this, but now the new thing is that they're actually looking at Kim Kardashian for this role, and it's going to be her big movie break because she has that FX show coming out, the Ryan Murphy show called All's Fair, where she played a divorce lawyer. I mean, whether you like it or not, I feel like she'll be able to get in there.
Okay, no. I think that like obviously the easiest layup would be like an Ariana Grande. Because she can actually sing.
After Wicked, yes.
She can actually sing. Like, you need someone who can actually sing, right?
That would be fucking funny. Though, wait, wouldn't you want to see it just to see Kim attempt it? Like,
that actually would be hilarious.
I mean, it would be
but like, they would have some sort of like AI mechanism that could like make her
just like Black Mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so we got also news that we have Love Island Beyond the Villa, which is a spinoff of Love Island Season 6, which is like, I don't mind this because I love Season 6, and these kids are all still friends, and they started filming this. They've already filmed 2 events. This is kind of what I would imagine they want the Vanderpump Rules reboot to be like, but it'll be interesting. Like, I think they're going to have relationships that have obviously like Kayla and Aaron, they've like split, but they'll be back together in some way. So I'm all for that. Wait, I forget. Did you watch this season of Love Island or did you?
No, I've never been a Love Island person and everyone yells at me, but every time I've tried to watch it, I like couldn't get into it, but I know I need to.
Yeah. Well, anyways, there's going to be a spinoff. I'm down for it. I like all of those people for the most part. Then also Vanderpump Villa, I think premieres in like a week and a half. This is the second season. A lot of people didn't like the first season. They got all new producers, but the difference in this one is that Stassi Schroeder is coming back and Bo. And I think we talked about this on the trailer because it looks like they had a fight, Bo and Stassi. And I thought, oh, maybe this is just for reality television. I was later told by somebody that worked on it was that this was actually a real fight on her birthday where she went dark. Like she got crazy. Like she drank too much and so it's a real fight, which I love real.
I'm boycotting Lisa Vanderpump, and I personally think everyone else should too.
Oh, did you see how she went back and said like, yes, DJ James Kennedy is a bad person now. Like she realized finally she wasn't going to win this. So then she went against him this week on the publicity tour. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I'm boycotting her. I'm not interested in watching Stassi either. And again, this comes from someone who used to fucking stan Stassi so
Wait,
hard.
did you guys do an episode on Stassi yet?
No, we need to. We absolutely need to. We absolutely need to. But like, I used to be the biggest Stassi stan. And
she really did launch a lot of people. Like, I mean, the love of Stassi on those first seasons of Vanderpump Rules really is still like at this point, like she's able to have an amazing career because of that love.
I mean, Stassi was like magnetic and iconic, and she really was just naturally, and she was messy. She was naturally all of these things.
And
like
she didn't. And she was also like, I always call it giving good talking head, which is gross, but she knew how to like talk. She knew how to like get a good, perfect soundbite. She was a
great narrator.
She was funny as hell, like funny on her sound bites.
But she wasn't only just good in talking heads. She was like good in the moment too, and was like extremely messy and had the really embarrassing, vulnerable moments.
I don't know what I did to you, but I'll take a Pinot Grigio.
Yeah. Tar and feather you. I am the devil, and don't you forget
yes.
it.
I mean,
so many, and this was also before anyone knew what reality TV really was. Like, she wasn't trying. She wasn't trying to be that iconic, like, funny person that the audience would love. She just naturally was. Yeah. But like, I that's not the Stassi that I see anymore. I don't think that she's the same person.
Well, I mean, she has 2 kids. How can you be the same person? How can
She's
you?
Not. She's not. She's not. And like, nothing about her is authentic to me anymore.
Oh, really? That's where, I mean, I don't really follow her exploits or adventures.
So boring. She's the most boring, basic person alive on social media. I don't think she's interesting. I'm sorry to all of the Stassi stands out there. I'm boycotting everything Lisa Vanderpump touches, other than the Valley, but she's just like an executive producer. And also Stassi. I'm not interested in watching Stassi. Sorry.
I think Lisa might have lost the plot a little bit, and I think they work around Lisa. I think Lisa kind of pops off in certain ways because she wants to be like considered top dog, and she seems to make the wrong moves lately way more than ever and support the wrong people. And I think that eventually comes back to bite you in the ass in a lot of ways. So we'll see how that goes. Also, we got the announcement this week. Tom Schwartz is starting a podcast. We have a Tom Schwartz podcast coming out.
Oh, of course he is.
Very soon. He said
what's
something.
What's it called?
I don't know, just Schwartz. I don't know. I don't know what it's. He talked about it on Jax's podcast, I guess.
Wait, I have a good idea for a name.
What?
Schwartz and all, like warts and all.
Oh my God. Dude, go trademark that right now so he has to come and pay you for that.
Should I? Oh my God.
Schwartz and all? Are you? Move over, Stassi. We've got our new Stassi, right? Holy shit. Did you really just come up with that?
I swear to God.
You're on fire. Oh my God. That really is impressive. Vanderpump Villa, though, one thing, they are crossing over with the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives cast. They are going to visit this Italian villa, and Secret Lives of Mormon Wives comes back for its second season, May 15th, I believe. So I think that'll be an interesting crossover that could work or will not work at all.
Well, it's like, it's hard for me to say no to the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. But we have a whole second season. So, and they brought in one of the girls that was participating in the soft swinging. So we will have more talking about soft swinging in the second season. If anybody, that's your thing. By the way, we should send Emerald over to Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. He would
actually,
clean up.
Actually, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. 2 last things. JoJo Siwa is on this overseas Celebrity Big Brother, and she's getting really like flirty with this guy.
Oh my God,
on
I
Celebrity
saw this.
Did you see? Like Rebecca's obsessed with it. Rebecca's
isn't she in a relationship? Like with
she's in a relationship with a woman, and now she's over here, and they are so close, her and this dude. And Rebecca will show me things every night of like, and I'm not even that into it, but she's like, oh my God, look, they're like in bed together. Like, oh
I wonder if
she took her top off. She took her top off.
Are they swingers? Like maybe JoJo Siwa and her girlfriend are swingers. Like,
but I just remember JoJo. Remember like JoJo back when she used to make what was that goo that like what was this? Remember when she had Northwest over to her like playhouse?
Oh, like
and she
slime.
Made slime, yeah. When she was like, that's the JoJo I remember.
Yeah.
So like adult JoJo. like she's just kind of discovering love, and I think that's
she
interesting.
is. And that is her right, as long as, she's not being, unfaithful to her significant other, because that's not nice. No. But maybe they have an open relationship or they're swingers.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll keep an eye on that developing story. And then finally, so much good television on. Tonight, we have the return of Nathan Fielder's The Rehearsal Season 2.
Yes.
It really is. I can't wait to hear people. I don't know. I'm really interested to hear what people's thoughts are on the first episode. The Last of Us Season 2, I watched the first episode. Did you watch it?
Wait, when did that come out?
Last Sunday, the first episode came out.
No one told me.
It's
Why
really
did no one
good.
tell me? No one's talking about it.
Yeah, I guess your feed is different than mine, as we established earlier. Yeah, The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 2 comes out tonight.
What the fuck?
And we have a new season of Hacks, and we have 3 episodes of that out right now, which I'm really enjoying as well. What are you watching finally?
I'm obsessed with Top Chef this season. I think I love Top Chef. I think that we have a lot of good personalities. It almost feels like early, like there's some drama. It feels like early Top Chef a little bit. Like I love it. Spoiler alert, like my favorite, Katiana, got eliminated this past episode, but she's not gonna she could always come back on Last Chance Kitchen. But there's also a standout named Tristan who is like really pulling ahead, and he could be Tristan Thompson, but he could be the first Black winner or Black male winner of Top Chef. I actually don't think there's been a Black female winner of Top Chef either.
Hasn't there been a black the black dude from like 6 seasons ago? Wasn't there a? Maybe I'm just misremembering Top Chef, but I thought there was. But you know it better than I do. So Top Chef is one of those things, though, that like I've watched so many seasons and I loved it, and I don't know why I don't hop on board these later seasons.
Okay, never mind. I guess he's not the first Black. He wouldn't be the first Black winner. Am I wrong? Okay, I'm sorry for the misinformation.
We'll figure it out.
But either way, yeah. Either way, it's a great season, you guys. I highly recommend. I'm obsessed with it.
Anything else? What are you and the dude watching together?
Honestly, like nothing. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Why? I got scared. Like it almost made it seem like you didn't want to say something. And I was like, are you embarrassed? I was like, you've admitted to watching some pretty bad things, so I don't feel like you should be embarrassed.
No, we're watching, what was that like a sexy show that used to be on HBO with like the cab?
Taxi Cab Confessions?
Taxi Cab Confessions.
We're watching old seasons of Taxi Cab Confessions.
I'm just like embarrassed that I like don't have any like cool shows that I'm watching. No. Like that's like my job.
You watched the whole season of Black Mirror. What are you talking about? That's cool.
Black Mirror. Obviously, like Black Mirror was so fucking good, you guys, this season. I promise you. I actually am finally going to post my Black Mirror episode rankings on Instagram because I keep talking about it and I keep forgetting to post it. So check it out.
Wait. But that Paul Giamatti one's going to be up there, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm obsessed with that episode. But I had so many people be like, I can't watch after listening to me talk about it on Starkbait and Probably So Bad It's Good. They were like, I cannot watch that show after I watched that first episode with the pig and the prime minister. I'm like, just skip that episode. Skip that episode.
But by the way, I will say that's a good litmus test if you can hang with Black Mirror. So like it is messed up. There are like, it is like you said, Twilight Zone on steroids. Like it is in such a different time period, but there is this, it's going to get dark in many episodes. And so you have to really, I would never say binge Black Mirror.
No, you definitely can only watch it in like, spurts. Yeah. Small portions.
I'm sure we forgot tons of things to talk about, but that is our time for today. Snarkbait, you guys, Dark Energy Tuesday. And then we have an episode focusing on Joe Rogan, which is going to be very exciting to hear the feedback from that. Has Brianna Chicken Fry or anybody reached out through intermediaries to talk with you?
No, and that's how I like it. I have people ask me all the time. They're like,
it sucks
do these
when
people
they know.
Reach out to you? And I'm like, no. And I don't want them to. I don't want the attention. I like our listeners, and that's it. We don't need.
And that's why we don't. Snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
That's first rule of Podcast Fight Club is you do not talk about the podcasts. I mean, I feel like, and you're just doing it for attention. Jax is not going to sleep with you. I mean, he might actually sleep with you, but you shouldn't want to sleep with Jax anyways.
Yeah. Snitches.
Yeah. Snitches get stitches. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else coming up that we need to know about?
Honestly, same old.
Same old Beals.
Yeah.
Hey, your dude's in finance. Is our economy shot? What's the? I know this is
we're kind of fucked. Yeah, we're fucked. We're fucked. He was like, I mean, the people that have like savings are gonna be okay. I'm like, well, like I don't have any. I'm like, Henry kind of does. I don't.
Yeah, you married at the right time, dude. You locked it down.
God. Oh my God. Yeah, we're fucked. I'm sorry, everyone.
Okay. Well, have a great Monday, but come back all week. Demois going to pop on this week. We got some great recaps, some great guests. Yeah, and then Snarkbait, always Snarkbait, you guys, and we will talk to you guys next week's my birthday, and by the way, I'm going to see your buddy John Mayer on Friday in Vegas for Dead & Company.
Oh my God, Taurus season!
Yeah, Taurus season.
Woo!
Woo! Okay, guys, bye.
Bye.